A lot of people have been commenting on how I've managed to stay so positive through the course of this year, 2020. If you're not following along, in January I got really sick, and over the course of a month I've lost about 50 pounds. I lost a lot of strength, and I was basically bedridden. And that was the case for January, February, March, and the entire month of April. I was extremely sick. I was constantly in and out of the hospital losing blood. I was constantly in and out of the hospital for medication. I was fighting a lot of problems. And then eventually I had to face a major stomach surgery. If you want to see more on that, see my whole vlog through the whole process, through the hospital, through all the struggles, you can click the link in the top right corner right now to go check out that video. These times were really tough. And to be honest, the reality of the situation wasn't all positivity. It wasn't happiness. The reason why people are saying that is because in the video, I seem very well constructed. I seem really strong. But the reality of the situation was that there were so many days where I just felt so down. There were so many days where I woke up just pissed off and angry. There were so many days where I was bored out of my mind. And just to put this into perspective, I think the average person is at 50 days of quarantine. I've been in quarantine literally since Christmas. I've been in my room, laying in bed, watching every single show on the internet I can find, just being bored out of my mind. There were so many days where I didn't want anything to do with life. As excited as I was to get healthier, it just seemed like the end was so far away that it was going to take so long for me to start getting better and start feeling better and start having any sort of energy at all. To be honest, I was getting out of bed 3 to 4 times a day strictly to go to the bathroom. And besides that, I would just lay in bed and just feel bad for myself. There was a lot of negative thinking, but at the same time, considering the situation, considering how sick I was, considering how long I was stuck in bed, stuck in this room actually, I feel like I did pretty well in the situation. It did get to the point, however, where I realized that the thoughts in my mind were really affecting me. I started cutting out Twitter consumption and Facebook consumption and all news consumption, and I focused on listening to some podcasts. I started reading some books. I started listening to some YouTube videos that were kind of motivating, upbeat, positive, and it really made a drastic impact on my mental state throughout the really, really tough times. As my surgery date kept on getting closer and closer, my mood was slowly going up because I realized that the end was near. As scary as surgery was, I was so ready for it just because I felt terrible. So as surgery got closer and closer, I just started to get happier because I knew the tough times were almost over. I knew the worst was almost over. So I went to the hospital, I got surgery. There were a few really tough days physically, mentally, and emotionally. I wasn't allowed to have any visitors in the hospital because of the virus that's going around. So I had to go through these tough times by myself. Those few days were really hard. It was just a lot of pain and a lot of loneliness. And being in the hospital, needing something. And the nurses did a fantastic job. Everyone in the hospital was amazing. But it was still hard to go through something like that by myself. A few days after surgery, once things started coming out of me, they started taking tubes out, my nose tube came out, side tubes came out. I was allowed to drink liquids and then foods. As things were progressing, my mood was drastically improving. The day they took my nose tube out, I actually woke up at 2 a.m. and I was just so excited on life. At 2 a.m., I turned the lights on in my room and I basically filled 10 pages in my journal of just ideas and things and video plans and everything in life that I was getting prepared to start executing on. I was so excited. There was so much energy, and I'm still actually doing that. I've been waking up at 2 a.m. just getting ideas and then having to write them down, and some days I even stay up and just start editing a video at 2 a.m. There's just so much excitement around life right now because the beginning of this year was just so tough that now every little thing, every small amount of growth just gives me so much happiness, so much energy, so much positivity to keep moving forward. So once I got out of the hospital, I was just so high on life, so happy. It literally was bringing tears to my eyes 10 times a day every time I realized how grateful I was to be getting healthier and how happy I was to be making progress every single day. I was so happy. There's really no other way to put it. The first few days I was home, I knew the times would still be difficult. There's a lot of life changes that I have to adopt. After surgery, it's going to take some time for me to get back on my feet, build my strength up, get back to where I was. But I knew that one thing I didn't want to let happen is I didn't want to get into a negative state. I wanted to use the momentum that I had, all of that energy, all of that happiness, all of that optimism, and put it into my life and find a way to make it so every single day I can be happy, optimistic, motivated, energized, and focused on the things that I want to accomplish. So right away, I started adopting some habits that I want to share with you. These habits and processes that I've been doing every single morning, first thing, really put you in a positive state of mind, and then they set you up to win the day. 5 habits I am talking about is first, meditation, practice of self-development, reading, controlling your focus, and being easy on yourself. So the first habit that I introduced is meditating. Now, I got back into meditating this time by actually reading a book. This book is called 10% Happier by Dan Harris, and it basically walks through his entire life, his entire personal journey of how he found a self-help tactic that actually works. And every single day, short 5, 10, 15, 20-minute meditation actually can make you feel a lot more calm, just a lot more happy. In the past, before I got sick, meditation was something that I did inconsistently, but I used as a tool when I needed it. When I was feeling down, when I was feeling depressed, when I was feeling lonely, I would meditate. And I would use this as a tactic to improve the quality of my life. Now, when it comes to building a habit around meditation, it's something I struggle with. For example, I was on a 5-day streak 2 days ago, and yesterday I missed it just because I was running behind all day. But one tool that I do use when I meditate is the Headspace app on the iPhone. You can get a 7-day free trial, and after that I think it's like $12 a month. Basically what this app does is every single day you can set up a reminder so it reminds you to meditate, and then you go through a guided meditation, which I feel like works the best for me because it reminds me what to focus on throughout the meditation process. So when thoughts jump into my mind, which they do, meditation is not about trying to empty your mind. It's just about stepping out of your life and being third person and like viewing things as they are instead of reacting to them. So during the process of meditating with this app, it kind of walks you through what to focus on, focusing on your breath, focusing on your body, focusing on all these different things, and it brings you back into the meditative state that you want to be in and just keeps your focus where you want it to be. The second habit that I am absolutely a major fan of is self-development. The benefits of self-development go beyond what I can explain in a single video or even in a lifetime's worth of videos. Self-development has changed my entire life. In 2015, when I was extremely sick, I had a major stomach surgery. I was really depressed, and I went to a Tony Robbins event, and that self-development event taught me so many tactics, so many skills, and completely changed my mindset for the rest of my life, and it's benefited me so much. If you're interested in getting self-development, I have a few tools that I would recommend. The first book that I would recommend is Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. This is based on his UPW, Unleash the Power Within event, which is that event that I went to that changed my entire life. This book basically walks you through the entire process that that event has to offer and allows you to unlock things in your mind that you never thought possible. Currently, I am doing a 30-day personal development course called Personal Power 2 by Tony Robbins, and today was the best day yet. Like, it teaches you so many things, so many tactics. If you're not familiar with Tony and his work, he's not a motivational speaker, even though that's how he comes off. He is a life strategist, but his work around improving your life teach you tactics and skills that allow you to take control of your thoughts and your body and your mind and really change the quality of your life, really improve the quality of your life if you take advantage of what he teaches. I am going to be a follower for the rest of my life. For the past 2 years, I probably invested around $15,000 just investing myself into his personal development programs and events. The third habit that I got into when I was feeling really bad in the beginning of this year was reading. One book I read was Endurance by Scott Kelly. It's basically an autobiography of an astronaut who spent over a year in space, and it walks you through his entire life of how he got into the space program, how he managed to get into space, and then how he managed to live there and learn there and be a human being off of Earth. It's insane what astronauts have to do to be able to live on the International Space Station and stay alive. So getting started is the hardest part, but once I start reading, I can read for an hour or longer like I did this morning, and it really flies by and I really enjoy it. If you're not the type of person who can sit down and just indulge yourself into a book, I would highly recommend checking out Audible. I believe if you're new, you can get your first Audible book for free. And this basically just allows you to listen to a book while you're driving or while you're at the gym or while you're running or doing whatever, and it makes it a lot easier to be able to consume book content. The fourth habit and process that I've been implementing is focus. This is actually something that I've learned from Tony Robbins and his personal development programs. You get what you focus on. If you focus on negativity, if you focus on news, if you focus on all the crap you see on social media, you're gonna feel crappy. Instead, focus on positivity, focus on happiness, focus on gratitude, focus on positive videos. If you change what you focus on, you're gonna change your life. We really only focus on a small amount of information in the world. For example, if you're at the beach and you see homeless people and you focus on the homeless people, you're gonna feel bad for them. At that same beach, somebody else could be in the water surfing, having the time of their life, and they're focusing on that time and that experience and having fun. You're in the same situation, you're in the same environment, but two people focusing on two separate things can have two completely different outlooks on their lives. Some tips I have to control your focus is to cut out news. Add in things like podcasts and audiobooks and guided meditation and online personal development programs. Now, the last habit and tactic, it's something that I've actually started just incorporating recently, and that is being easy on myself. I am the type of person who loves to have a solid morning routine. And back when I was in New York City and back when I was healthy before I got sick, before 2020 started, I had a solid morning routine, and if I missed one thing on that morning routine, I'd feel like I'd fail. I would feel like a failure first thing in the morning, and that always kind of messed with me. I realized from Gary Vee actually that you need to be easier on yourself. So now I have a very solid morning routine, but if I miss one thing, for example, I missed meditating yesterday, you need to cut yourself a break and understand that nobody's perfect. You're never going to be able to follow that plan perfectly for the end of eternity. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to have hiccups. So just understanding that things will go wrong and you're going to miss a few days. And it's not about hitting that goal every single day. It's about being consistent over the long run and using that tactic, that skill, that habit to improve the quality of your life. 2 tips I have for this is just enjoy the process and understand that good things take time. To build a solid life, it's going to take years and it's going to take a lot of patience and it's going to take a lot of hard work. And then also just enjoy the little things. Even though I missed meditating yesterday, I was extremely happy and extremely grateful to be able to do the rest of my morning routine, such as make my bed, listen to my personal development program, and work on a really fun video. Overall, the art of positivity is just something that you need to work on a daily basis. And these 5 tips that I explained in this video really have had a big impact on how I've managed to get positive, even though I was going through really tough times, and managed to stay positive after. With that being said, if you're someone who loves positivity, loves optimism, and loves happiness, I would really appreciate you checking out my brand new t-shirt design that I just dropped on my website, logantremellen.com/shop. This design is called Happiness, just an awesome logo that says happiness right on it. You can buy stickers on the website too. This is my favorite design yet because it's something that I feel like I really connect with deeply and you guys can connect with. So if you're interested in getting that shirt or ordering from my website, use code HAPPY for 10% off your entire order. That is the end of this video, guys. I hope you got some value out of it. I hope you take some of these tactics, some of these habits, and try to implement them into your life and ultimately use them to improve the quality of your life. That is the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.